it makes zero sense to have an ex in your life.
Yeah.
Because you had a romantic relationship with that person.
Yeah.
And you figured out you don't want to ever have a romantic relationship with them ever again. That's how most exes are. Now you're going to go try to find a new romantic partner while you're also talking to your old one. Obviously, first, really try. Try your best to make it work. I don't care if you're dating for a year or whatever, like really try. If you feel like this is the person you could see yourself with long term. The person's going to figure it out. Maybe it's like us and it's not really you're breaking up because you guys aren't meant to be together. It could be because of these other things.
Yeah.
But if you accept it, that might help the person realize that they made a mistake. But you can't count on that where they're at.
It's like the final boundary, right? That's the thing is that, and then you got to hold that boundary. And then you got to not communicate with that person after that happens. That's the thing is like, you don't need to, I think a lot of people are collecting, they're like, oh, let me just collect some more baggage. This ex.
I don't think they're intentionally collecting more baggage.
They're collecting this baggage. So they're like, oh, yeah, no, we're still friends. And they are talking to this ex and that ex. And it's just, you're making a train wreck for someone else that comes into your life when they're like, oh, you still talk to your exes. You hang out with them. They're like family.
Yeah,
right? It's like,
not a good
no,
idea.
don't do it. If you're breaking up with someone,
to be mean.
It means they're exiting your life.
Right.
Completely.
Exiting.
Yeah.
They're X for exit.
Exactly. Yeah.
But no, you're right. Like, you don't have to be mean and you shouldn't be mean. Like I said, that is like the ground rule. But it makes zero sense to have an ex in your life.
Yeah.
Because you had a romantic relationship with that person.
Yeah.
And you figured out you don't want to ever have a romantic relationship with them ever again.
Right.
That's how most exes are. And then now you're going to go try to find a new romantic partner while you're also talking to your old one. And I think a lot of women do this because I know that you're talking from an experience of like men that you've talked to where the women still talk to their exes. And I think because in their head, women can friend zone a man, but it makes no sense. You don't need to add another friend. You don't need to be friends with your ex. If you're holding out hope to be with your ex again, then you shouldn't even be dating.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. Yeah.
And you really shouldn't even be holding out hope because they've already showed you their cards. They need to come to you if they're going to change.
Right.
So you should let them go. Like you said, let them free. Don't delete the number, whatever you need to do.
Yeah.
And then move on with your life because you can't have other romantic relationships, even though they're expired, hanging around.
Yeah.
Because also, too, it's easier for you, especially if it didn't work out because that person's not doing what you want them to do in a relationship. You're still holding out hope that they're going to change and that you can just go back to them.
Right. Exactly.
So why, you're holding yourself back.
Yeah.
If you're living in that space.
Yeah. 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 100%. But, people are not going to listen to that advice, but that's fine. Just,
they got to learn it the hard way then.
Exactly.
But, and we've learned the things the hard way, so we get it. But, it's better to think about it, really think about it. And obviously first, really try your best to make it work. I don't care if you're dating for a year or whatever, really try. If you feel like this is the person you could see yourself with long term.
Yeah.
Really try. And then when you get to a point where you're like, okay, this isn't really working out, give yourself enough time where you're in a calm mindset.
Yeah.
And then have a conversation with that person. And now obviously face to face is better. But how do you feel about breaking up over a phone call or text? You did break up with me over a call.
No.
But that's because you weren't in person.
But that was a weird situation because it was like already broke up or I don't know what. It was just.
Oh, that's true. You did come in person that time.
Yeah.
And I did the wrong thing. So it's
Yeah, but it was very weird circumstances that I didn't really want to break up with you. I lost my mind and it was complicated because of the divorce and all of the stuff that.
Yeah, it was weirder because we weren't having problems in our relationship. Like it wasn't between you and I.
Right.
It was these external things.
Yeah.
Which you've also said before are typically the things that cause people to break up with each other is the external things. Right. I mean, internal too, but you know, sometimes it's people talking about things or whatnot. But yeah, you're right. It wasn't like us. Like, that was the problem.
Exactly, yeah.
Like, we couldn't communicate or we were fighting all the time or things like that.
Right.
But also I accepted it when you did it.
Yeah.
Like, not the first time. I did do the wrong thing the first time and then like, can't we figure it out? Because it was, we had a good relationship and that's why I was like, what? I've only broken up with people or been broken up with when the relationship was horrible. Yeah. So I was like,
that's why you can't be faulted for that. Here. No, it makes sense that, I mean, what you did makes sense, right? Because of those circumstances.
But after when you called me, I was like, I just got to accept it or, you know, like, you know, I only had the one long talk trying to convince you otherwise left in me. And then I had to take my own advice and be like, no, you know, if this is meant to be, then it'll be, but you need to just accept it. Yeah. And then you called me back immediately after that. So again, you need to just accept it. You need to just accept it. That's the best way to handle it because either the person's going to figure it out. Maybe it's like us and it's not really you're breaking up because you guys aren't meant to be together. It's could be because of these other things. Yeah. But if you accept it, that might help the person realize that, you know, they made a mistake. But you can't count on that. Yeah. And you need to accept it if it's time to go and find a better partner for you. Yeah. Yeah. And most of the time when people break up, that's what is going to be needed is, you know, letting your ex go, accepting that you've done all you can do in regards to the relationship and trying to make it work. And then, you know, when you go out and you date again, reflect on your relationship, reflect on the things that didn't work and, you know, have standards for those things moving forward. Like everything teaches us things. So many people are like, they'll stay with people because they don't want to go on a first date with people and be like, people have literally said, I don't want to go and talk about my life and like start over with a new person. And I get that, but also at the same time, like, I don't get it, I guess. Because it's like, you want to stay here and you know it's not good. And the only thing that's really keeping you here is the comfort and the fact that you don't have to go and tell somebody your favorite color or your favorite type of food.
The pain isn't great enough, right? There's that whole thing where, you know, this guy comes over to this other dude's house and his dog is lying on the floor in the kitchen. And he's like, every once in a while your dog just makes a noise, like a whimper noise. What's going on? He says, he's lying on a nail. And he was like, why doesn't he get up and move if he's lying on a nail? It's like, the pain's not good, not enough yet. When it is, he'll move, right? And so it's like that's what happens with people. So the pain's not enough, right? So,
but it's enough for them to complain about it.
Yeah, every once in a while, but not enough to actually take action, right? And that's the thing is, a lot of people are afraid to. A lot of men are afraid to break up.
Yeah, we talked about that.
But that's why the whole thing is it has to be in person. And you have to do it. And there's no explanation or excuses, right? It's just, but that's why in order to get to that state, that's why I'm saying that I think the best protocol for breaking up is to have a conversation first. And then you can address the things and you can say, well, here's the things that are not working for me in this relationship right now. And then you can see how they handle that. And you're also not giving them pre-warning, you know, it's kind of pre-warning, but if you have that conversation after you break up with someone, then they're like, I'll fix those things. They're like, yeah. Right? Because now...
Just to say whatever to get you back.
Right.
But yeah, you should be having those sort of conversations before the breakup talk.
But if you have it in your head, if you said, okay, I'm going to break up with this person, then the best sequence of events would be to say, all right, do I want to have a conversation? Right? If so, then let me have the conversation now before, while I have it in my head, I'm going to break up. And then you address the issues, if there is issues that could be resolved, and see at that point, are they going to resolve it? Then maybe you change your mind and say, okay, I'm going to give another chance here. But if not, then they've already got their closure and their explanation too, right? Because you've said what you don't like, what needs to change, what you're struggling with. You've had a chance. They've had a chance to talk about it. So then maybe you wait a day later, and then you say, in person,
right?
Not like a coward, in person. I'm breaking up with you. I don't want to be in this relationship anymore. Have a nice life, whatever it is. Period. That's it. It's done.